Good morning, everybody. Good morning, dear parents. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds because I know Facebook notifies you when we go live, and I'm really excited for you to be joining me for the first day of our live challenge at 6:30 a.m. So as you tune in, please go to the comments and say good morning, tell me your name. Hello everyone, it's so nice to see you tuning in. Please do go to the comments, say good morning, tell me your name. And we're just going to give it a few seconds for everybody to see that little Facebook notification and join us this morning. Hello everyone, it's so lovely to see you joining us. And as we wait for the others to catch up and to join, I invite you to just relish the fact that you're here on a Monday at 6:30 a.m. making this commitment to yourself and to your family. Good morning, Christina. It's lovely to see you. And Liam too. Good morning, Liam. You're up early. Hi, Emery. Good morning. Good morning, Emery. So today, the aim of this life challenge is to come together to tap into a very raw energy, a very inner energy. My name is Juliana Fenech. Some of you I know, some of you I'm working with deeply, and others are new to our community. I'm the founder of Lignan Stories, a storytelling agency that I founded 3 years ago. When I started Lignan, it was a storytelling platform for people of all ages, all beliefs, people going through all sorts of different journeys. But over time, this was in 2017, I realized that my very special calling was to serve parents of 5 to 10-year-old children. And this was for two reasons. I'm a parent myself. I'm a single mother of twins. They're now turning 14 next week, but I've brought them up alone for most of my life. And I know how isolating that can be. Not only being a single parent, but being a parent. Parents are doing the most difficult job in the world, and yet they are the least supported demographic in society. So, since we don't really have structures of support around us, we need to create them ourselves. And I also realized that parenting alone is actually impossible because there is a knowledge gap. So teachers who spend time with our children receive years and years of training, but where is the training for us? It's not there. And so I decided in 2019 to focus Lignan only on parents of 5 to 10-year-old children, and everything we are doing today is to serve you. I wanted to share that background and also why I chose the name Lignan Stories. Lignin is a polymer that is found in the bark of trees. It's actually a chemical. And when lignin transfers into paper, some of you have heard this story, but for others it's new and it's important. When it transfers into paper, over time the polymer breaks. And when it breaks, it releases that lovely smell of vanilla that we find in old bookshops. This is why when you go into a bookshop that sells old books, there is this comforting smell, and often we pick up the book and we put it to our nose, and it gives us this sense of pleasure, this sense of joy. And so for me, lignin became a symbol of how beautiful things sometimes need to break in order for them to find joy again, and in order for them to find their true purpose. And often storytelling with children, when we work with children, we are working with magic, with possibility. The children love the stories because they make them excited. And when we are working with adults, often we are working with healing. So I hope this 5-day challenge is going to bring you healing. I hope it's going to bring the healing through the stories that remind you that you are part of a longer, bigger history, that even in the moments when you feel alone, you can connect to this force that is bigger than us, that keeps us going, that supports us, that holds us up. And also that it will give you little story tips and activities to transfer into your families to share this sense of well-being and strength. Often both women and children are invited consciously and subconsciously to stay small. And by small, I don't mean physically small, but to stay small in energy and in power. And I hope that in this 5-day challenge, we are going to reverse that process so that you can live each and every day in your full power. We will spend around 20 minutes together because I know morning time is precious, and each day we are going to set a particular focus. Today's focus is called forming a time bubble. One of the greatest challenges faced by parents nowadays is time. Whenever I have a conversation with a parent who would like to join our programs or who would like to change something in their life which they know is not working, the primary concern is time. And so today's meditation, today's story, today's activity is focused on creating a time bubble. Please write that down, creating a time bubble. First, we're going to think, we're going to manifest a time bubble for ourselves, and then we're going to manifest a time bubble to spend with our children. And I'd like to start with a reflection from this book, Coming Home to Myself, Reflections for Nurturing a Woman's Body and Soul by Marion Woodman and Jill Melek. And I just want to read you this reflection. Where can I find an hour a day to turn away from duty to release that energy into something creative for myself? And this is like being tossed into a washing machine. Can I really believe I am worth an hour a day? Am I, who have given my life to others, selfish enough to take 1 hour a day to find myself? And it's interesting to note in this reflection the word selfish. So check in with yourself. As you're landing into this space, I invite you to release all the thoughts in your head of the things that you will need to do throughout the day. I invite you to come into this present moment, to leave the past, what happened yesterday, what happened an hour ago, to leave the future to itself, and to focus in this moment. And in this moment, to check in first with how you are feeling. How does your body feel? And write it down. Check how your head area feels, how your chest area feels. And if you get thoughts of, I don't have time for this, what am I doing here? If you get thoughts of, I should be preparing things for the children, let them come up and let them go. And I'll explain why this is so important in just a moment. Check how your pelvic area is, and you can share in the comments if you feel called to. And check how your feet feel in this present moment. And as you check in with yourself, accept whatever it is that comes up. This forms the membrane, the outer shell of your time bubble. Think of a soap bubble and how delicate its frame is, and yet how well it contains everything that is happening on the inside, so that the bubble can go up, up, and up. Okay? So becoming aware of how we are feeling in this moment is forming that membrane, that outer shell to our time bubble. And now we're going to think of one intention that we wish to set for these life challenges. So, as I mentioned in the announcement, every day I'm going to set you a task. And today's task is to set and write down an intention. And the way you're going to do it is this. Think, observe. So thinking starts with observation. Observe your relationship with your children today. Observe how the conversation is going. Observe how you communicate with your children, and then take note of that. And as you take note of it, become aware of whether you are communicating in movement or whether you are finding a moment of stillness. So today's task is to find that moment of stillness. And stillness means pure, raw connection. So I could still be washing the dishes, but my focus is not on the dishes, my focus is on my child. I could still be driving, but my focus, whilst of course I'm paying attention to the road, is not on the list of things I need to do later, it's on what my child is telling me. Okay, so the challenge today, and I want you to write it down, is to intentionally become aware of how you are communicating with your children. And by the end of today, to write down a sentence or two on something that you'd like to develop further throughout the week. So if you're thinking of your relationship with your children as a time bubble, okay, forming the membrane is focusing on the present moment, building the awareness of how do I communicate with my child, and then filling that bubble in with the intention, how I would like to communicate with my child. Okay, so how I communicate with my child, how I would like to communicate with my child. Not with judgment, but with love, coming from the present moment. Okay, so this is my challenge for you today. And I want to remind you that whoever joins each morning, whoever completes each challenge, okay, is going to be part of a gift coaching session with me next week, and I'll give you the link for that on the final day. So do take note of your challenges, because I want you to make the very best of this. I want you to get the best value. And now I would like to share a story with you which is called Giving the Moon. I'll type this into the group at the end of the session so that you can return to it during the day when you need it. Giving the Moon. One clear night, a monk sat in front of his hut on the mountainside, admiring the luminous glow of the full moon. As he gazed upward, a thief crept step by step up the mountain towards him. Arriving at the monk's hut, the thief demanded, "Give me all that you own." The monk replied, "My hut is empty. I possess only these ragged clothes. Come and sit beside me. I am happy to share the night sky with you." "Give me all that you own," demanded the thief again. The monk removed his clothes and handed them to the thief. Bundling them under his arm, the thief crept, step by step, down the mountain. The monk sat shivering and naked in the moonlight, watching the thief disappear in the shadows. He sighed and thought, "What a poor man he is. I wish I could give him this beautiful moon." And so my task for you today, my challenge for you today, is to take a moment to form your time bubble, to become aware of how you communicate with your children, setting an intention of how you would like to communicate, and taking note of these two things, because this is how we give ourselves the gift of the moon, and how in turn we will give our children the gift of the moon. I'm sending you so much love. and strength and support and a virtual hug. And I will see you again tomorrow morning at 6:30. And any time that you think to yourself, I can't do this challenge, I'm so busy, just remind yourself that you've just completed a time bubble with me. You've just spent 15 minutes in this space with me. So you can do it, and I'm rooting for you. Sending you so much love. See you all tomorrow, Juliana.